Have you been looking online to make some extra money, but you don't really know where to start? What I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to share with you my findings, my observations, frustrations, and some of the conclusions I have reached. So, if you're serious about staying online and making some income, stay tuned. Hello, and welcome to my channel, which is Grey Owl Mindset Mentor. This is the only channel devoted entirely to newbie entrepreneurs. My name is Ian Michael Pankhurst, and I am your host for this show today. Let me plunge straight into this, and what I'm going to do, I said I'm going to give you my conclusions. I'm going to do a fairly odd thing, and I'm going to give you a conclusion right at the beginning, if that makes sense. My overall conclusion, having spent the last 6 months diligently searching away on the net at hundreds and possibly thousands of business opportunities, I've come to one overall conclusion, and that is that there are a lot of people on YouTube advertising business opportunities which are bordering on scams. Some are absolute scams. So what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to give you some guidance and some advice on how to avoid these scams. Now, I'm going to phrase this in a way so that I don't become what we might call with an axe to grind. There are many good opportunities and some good ethical people online, but there are some who are not. Certain people offering business opportunities on YouTube have a tendency to exaggerate. That's a nice soft way to start, isn't it? Before I go into greater detail, let me give you the Webster Dictionary definition of exaggeration. It reads as follows: to enlarge beyond the bounds of the truth. Now, what does that say to you? Well, I'll tell you what it says to me. I think what they're telling are not exaggerations. They're quite simply, pure and simple, lies. So all the examples I'm going to give you, I've actually taken directly from the programs on YouTube. Some, if not all, I'm sure you will recognize. So the moral of the story from the beginning is, it is possible to avoid some of the scams that are out there. And I said in my last video, which I hope you watched by the way, that a lot of it comes down to common sense, but sometimes we do get carried away, we get enthusiastic, and all of us, including me, we do tend to fall for what I can call hype. So with that in mind, let's start with the number one exaggeration, or as I term to call it, a lie, that is very prevalent in a lot of the videos which are out there. They say that this is a very, very easy way to make money. Now, that is not strictly true. There isn't really an easy way to make money online. Making money is hard, as you probably realize. Certainly to make it honestly and legitimate, it's hard. Now, having said that, there are easier ways, but not easy. And what I'm trying to get across to you is that if they're going to exaggerate, if we're going to use that term rather than mine, if they're going to exaggerate in the opening statements, what they're going to offer you from that point on, are you going to be in a position to trust them? Good question. Let's move straight on to exaggeration or lie. Number two, they state no experience is required. Anyone, and they emphasize this by saying, I mean anyone, can do this. It's not true. It's not true. Whatever business it's on, you certainly need certain attributes to earn money home-based. Computer basic knowledge, it would be essential to have. A good command of English or your native language. Common sense, the ability to be in control, I suppose. But it's not strictly true to say that anyone can do it. It's not. Now, here we come into what I consider to be the more serious of the exaggerations, oblique lies. Watch this video and you can start making money right away. In fact, as soon as you have watched this video, you can start to make money straight away. Not true, not true at all, at all, at all. Businesses online are not dissimilar in many, many ways to business offline, and I spent many years running successful businesses offline. And I can assure you that every business I've always started, it's taken me and everybody else I know who's been successful, it's taken time. I mean, put it another way, I think personally, this is my own personal view, I think it takes at least 2 years to build a business up to become really, really successful and to make money. If you can do it in a shorter period of time, good luck to you, and I'm sure that there are people who can do it. But generally speaking, for anyone who is offering a business opportunity which says you can start and make money overnight, they are not telling you the truth. Now we come to what I suppose is the biggest indication that the people who are pitching you on a business opportunity are what we can call baiting you. We all know what the term baiting means. You bait for a fish, you bait to catch something. They're hoping to catch you, and they're going to use, and this is terminology which I've learned over the last 6 months, there's such a thing as clickbait. And one of the biggest uses, and in my humble opinion, one of the great overuses of it, is the exaggeration of the amount of money you can earn. This exaggeration goes off the rector's tail, to be quite honestly. I could give you hundreds and hundreds of examples of the ridiculous claims people are making. I'm sure you've been seeing them. Whether you realize quite how ridiculous they are is the point of the message, isn't it? Okay. Number 5 is another area which has given me great concern, and I think again it's deceptive. They make great play of saying this is a business you can start from home, you don't need any capital, you can start if you're absolute broke. Again, that is not the truth. The truth is this: in any business, be it offline or online, there are going to be certain upfront costs. Most online business, you need a website to start with. That's going to cost you money. You're going to need reasonable equipment. That's going to cost you money. It may not cost you a fortune, but that's not what they're saying. They're not saying you can start off with not horrific overheads, but they give the impression that it's for free. And in number 6, I'm going to talk to you about their schemes. In my experience, virtually 90% of all the opportunities I've looked at have resulted at the end of it by saying, if you want to do this business, I have a course to show you how to do it. Now, I don't want to give you the impression I'm against courses, because I'm not. There's some very good courses out there. But there are also many courses out there which are given by people who frankly have never ever made any money themselves doing a business online. And another thing to be very, very, very careful of, and again it's part of the clickbait, free offer. Information free. Yeah, the information may be free, but the knowledge is not. The knowledge you have to pay for. Number 7 is not as so obvious to a lot of people perhaps as it should be. Right at the very end of the pitch, as I call it, they say, if you want to act, you've only got a very limited time because this offer is going to close any minute. In fact, after I got the first 200 or 100, or sometimes give a time period, this is offer only going to be open for 48 hours, so act now. Very limited offer. Not true, and it's so easy to check on that because I've gone back on the sites which 5 months ago said it was going to close in 2 days, and it's still there offering. The next item on scams and the things that lead up to scams, and this, I've got to be honest, it can be quite convincing when you see testimonials. How many times have we seen at the end of a pitch again, let me prove to you how successful you can be. Here is Fred Bloggs, who only joined me 6 months ago and is now earning 6 figures, 8 figures, whatever it may be. Testimonials. You can actually go on a site called Fiverr, pay a $5 or thereabouts, and you can get people to write what look like genuine, absolutely authentic testimonials to your offer. No siree, they are not genuine, and I would suggest very strongly that when these testimonials come along very heavily, and by heavily I mean where they overhype the thing, bells should start going and saying, I think that guy wrote that testimony himself. The next one is very similar to the one previous, and this is with the number of subscribers, views and comments. These can and is and are manipulated by certain people who offer business opportunities. Subscribers can be bought on Fiverr. Comments, well, we've mentioned that before, but they can be bought. Okay, last but not least, number 10 is a money-back guarantee. And in my initial research into online businesses, I think it was my son who said to me, because I mentioned to him about, the possibility of cons and scams and one thing or another. And he said, well, Dad, you're fairly safe because most of these courses, and I was thinking of doing a course, they do give a money-back guarantee. I thought, well, yeah, you can't go wrong with that, can you? But again, a little bit of research shows you, yes, you can. You can buy something which says, we guarantee you a 30-day money-back guarantee. And somewhere in the small print, there are conditions which you have to meet. You can call it hoops you have to go through. You have to prove that you have done every single solitary thing they recommend. That includes how much money you spent, how much time you spent on it, etc., etc. So let me come to my final conclusions. My final conclusions are this. You can avoid being scammed providing you take what I call the common sense approach. Look at the statements that are being made, look at the exaggerations that can be made, and determine how realistic and feasible they are. And if they ring bells and if they don't sound genuine, the chances are they're not. I hope this hasn't come across to you in any way, shape or form a negative point of view on online marketing, because there are very many positives. And my final conclusion is this. I think it's roughly about 50-50. I think 50% of the opportunities out there, all things being equal, are good. And yes, you can make money on them. The other 50%, I think, fall into a grey area. And it is this grey area which I want you to be aware of. So my friends, I hope this has been helpful to you, and I would be grateful if you found this video of any interest to you at all. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe, because it does help me to know A, whether I'm being interesting, or B, what specifically you would like to know and how it would make your life easier. So 2 things: give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Keep sensible, keep safe, and I wish you every success in the future. See you in the next video.